Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny D. Welcome to tonight's show. It is May 2nd, 2019. Clint, you want to say hi?
What's going on, good people? You already know it's your boy Clint. Ready to have a good show. Sorry we missed y'all last week, but we're back and ready.
Yeah, we got a great topic for y'all tonight right now. You're listening on blogtalkradio.com/GFT radio show. Cop some merchandise by going to teespring.com/stores/GFT radio. Go to our website, gftradioshow.com. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on IG and Twitter at GFT_radio. Listen to us on Google Play Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube. I'm trying to think of where else am I forgetting. That's everything?
We're everywhere. Yeah, that's everything.
That's everything. If I didn't, go to the website. All the links are there. I think Willie came up with this topic about we're going to be talking about blended families and, you know, the different I guess the different situations that people are placed upon, you know, how to deal with just different types of things that are related to a blended family. So this is interesting because, you know, I think from my standpoint, well, I was kind of in the blended. I guess I don't know how you define. Well, I had a step parent in the house.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah, I did have my sister's. It was my sister's dad, but yeah, it was my, you know. So we had a step parent. It was a very interesting experience. I've been I don't want to say a step parent, but I dated somebody with kids, and I was like we lived together, so I was kind of like it was like a blended family because I brought my daughter into the situation at one point. So I guess some of us probably have experienced that or lived it ourselves or have been a part of it at one point in time when we were either dating somebody with kids and stuff like that. So I know Willie was married and his family was kind of blended, and so I think we all kind of had some type of pop in with that.
Definitely.
But what were you going to say, Clint?
No, I was just saying, you know, I just really wanted the real definition of what blended family is because I really never personally looked into the term. I really never took it that way. To me, family is family. So I guess, you know, I was.
Oh, well, I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, because, you know, I guess you could call me. My dad had when I was a kid. My dad. I was a teenager, really. My dad remarried, mom remarried. Well, she got married to somebody else. Dad got married to somebody else. You know, I got brothers and sisters from my dad. I got brothers and sisters from my mom. You know, I grew up with them all. And
yeah, but
at one point, I even had put a picture up where I had all my siblings, including my mom and my stepmom. You feel me? So I guess that's like a blended family, you know, because we all, you know, I don't separate it. And then, like you said, we've been in positions where I've dated, you know, was in a relationship with a woman who had kids, and you know, we had a child. Been in a relationship with somebody who already had children, and you feel me? And it's just me. You know, before that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you know, I've
well,
been
I'm
in
looking
those
at the word,
situations.
when a term blended family is defined as a family consisting of a couple and their children from this and all previous relationships.
Okay. So yeah, I've lived it as a child, and you know, I've been a part of it in my adult relationships as well. Definitely. So what was?
It's funny because. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to ask a question. What was Willie's? I'm sure he'll call in a few. What was his question as far as the blended families? Like,
well, it was. I'm gonna just like kind of go from the thing is that when people are married and there are many challenges, but when those two people bring children, ex-spouses, and others into the mix, we have to ask, can love truly conquer all? So I guess when you have exes and past relationships, and then you go a new relationship, and you got to bring those because when you have kids with people, and then you got to you're no longer with them and you got to start a new relationship, you're bringing all that baggage. So it's like, can all that be, can like, if somebody, that person that's walking into that situation loves you, can they deal with all of that? It's almost like dealing with, like, I feel like it's similar to me and you had a kid together. We're not together no more. So now I'm dating this other guy. And we got to figure out how we're going to make this work between you and our relationship with our kid and then this new people, whether you date somebody or I'm dating somebody. So how do you bring that in without it causing problems? Or if it causes problems, how do you rectify them? Or, you know, like the different things of, you know, like you look at it like from a, hold on. So I believe this is really, hold on.
Yeah. Sort of like our topic we did with co-parenting.
Yeah.
What up, though? What up, though?
What's going on with it?
What up, though? Sorry, I'm late. Had to finish up some work. You know how I go.
It's all good. It's all good. I guess, though, to what you were saying, I remember we did the show on co-parenting. And I guess this is similar to that. And it all goes back to one of our main themes on this show is communication. I feel like we stress that a lot. And when you have a situation like that, I feel it's best, you know, just to have that conversation, to iron everything out. It really shouldn't be no issue if, like you said, me and you was to have a child, but then we decide to move on from each other. That don't mean we move on from the child. But if we decide to move on from each other, there should be no attachment to you. So if you decide to move on, like, I'm not mad that you're moving on. It's just that the conversation I have to have with him, with the child we have, is like, all right, my only thing is don't discipline my child. Don't put your hands on my child. As long as we clear on that, you feel me? I don't, you know what I mean? I don't understand the issue. And I'm going to do the same for you. If I bring in a woman, whatever rules, you know, as long as, you know what I mean, like, if it's reasonable, why can't I, you know what I mean, like, say if it's certain things that you want to have that mother-daughter experience or mother-son experience, like a particular experience that you want to have with the child first, well, then I allow you. I'm not, you know what I mean, like, I don't understand the issues. I don't understand. Only reason why you can't have issues is if you still have feelings for that other person. And if you still have feelings for another person, you shouldn't be trying to move on. That's all of that should be ironed out before anybody moves on.
True that. Yeah, don't be doing rebounds. I want the whole family.
yeah. And then it's like, if my thing is, even if I'm prepared to move on, but if I know I still got a hanger on somebody, I got to correct that. I got to make sure that situation is nipped in the bud first before I even go into another relationship, because I don't want to bring that drama into a relationship. You feel me? And I think more people need to think like that. Like, you may be ready to move on, but if you're still having issues and drama from a previous relationship, you got to, you feel me, handle that first. You got to get that out the way. You know what I mean? Because all you're going to do is bring extra drama, traumatize the kids, you feel me? And it's going to just be continued issues, one situation after another.
Willie?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, yeah, I'm here.
What were you kind of, we were trying to get the idea of where this topic came from and why, you know, what was your, like, what was this geared towards, or, you know?
Well, mainly, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were, you know, just discussing different things, and they brought up just the whole thing of, you know, blended families and trying to navigate those waters, especially being new to blended families, as they were, you know, it was just like, you know, there's a lot that goes into it, and you know, you always hear about it, you always see it on TV, you always see these, you know, different representations of what a blended family is, and what a blended family looks like, you know. So you see all these different representations, how different people are handling it, and so, you know, it was just one of those things that came up as, you know, what do we think about how that should be handled? And I definitely like what Clint said at the beginning here, is that, you know, being that it's a lot of it is about communication. A lot of it is about having certain things in order, certain things basically understood, up front. And there has to be there has to be things understood among different parties, right? Because you got the situation with the kids, you have the situation with exes, you have the situation with family sometimes, depending on how you approach it. And you really have to make sure that you're, everybody either is on board or they understand where you're coming from in the situation. You know what I mean? Because I know in my experience, I've been through a couple of blended families, be it when I was growing up. My mom had a man in her life that she loved and that she wanted to bring into our family, and it was like, for us, it was kind of new because we hadn't really been around my mother and a boyfriend and that kind of thing, and they eventually got married, but it was also having to deal with a new person that's a parent, a parental figure, or that's responsible for you. And then on the other side of it, when I was with my ex-wife, having to raise children that were from a previous relationship, and dealing with how that works, and dealing with the kids from that perspective, you know what I mean? But also dealing with other relationships that come into play there, when it comes to in-laws, when it comes to dealing with exes, when it comes to, maybe even just friends sometimes too, because sometimes friends get involved. So it's, I think there's a lot of different factors there, and so definitely wanted to discuss different aspects of it and get different opinions and perspectives of how to deal with the challenges.
If everybody play their part, like that's what it really comes down to. If you play your part to the best of your capability, it really shouldn't be no issues. As far it's always going to be an issue somewhere along the line. But I'm talking about like major issues. You feel me? If everybody just play their part, of course there's going to be disagreements. You know what I mean? That's life. But if everybody understand their role, you feel me? It really shouldn't be no issue, no matter how it go. If like me and Sonny talk that analogy, I go back to that analogy. If we have a child, and let's say I move on before she does, I find, my role is, first of all, to make sure the person I'm with is suitable to be around my child. You know what I mean? Don't just be bringing anybody around my child. That should be my role. You know what I mean? My number one rule. Don't just bring no any around my child. And then if Sonny sees that I just don't got anybody around, whoever I'm dealing with is up to par and official, then she really shouldn't have no issue. And vice versa. If she was to move on with another dude, as long as I know he up to par, he ain't on no BS, he ain't about that chaos, then I don't have an issue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, the real issue and what everybody focus should be on is the kids and how they deal with it and how they really react to that. Because, people react to it differently, especially children. You feel me? I think that's what get lost. You talk about the communication with adults. Like, how do we communicate that to the children?
Yeah, sometimes the children feed off the parents' energy.
Exactly.
So if there's always a problem and always that back and forth nonsense, and I'm like one of the people that I wholeheartedly believe that if it's back and forth constant, it's more to it than what people are saying. Because it wouldn't be that if there's a mutual understanding of what the hell is going on and there's the emotions is out of it, the kid's interest is first and foremost, then you wouldn't have that back and forth. But when you have that back and forth, it's because somebody is still emotionally invested, whether it's one or both.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you spoke on earlier, if we are done, realistically, done, then there shouldn't be a lot of this back and forth nonsense, and we should be able to co-parent and move forward. But I think like currently you see a lot of people still in their feelings, whether it's the female or the guy, or you get situations where the guy is not really moved on, but the girl has moved on and he's still in his feelings. And the first thing is, say if the girl meets the guy and it's really going somewhere and they introduce it to the kids, now the guy got a problem because he don't want people around his kids. And it's not that it's a bad person around his kids. It's that he's still in his feelings. That's why he's making it a problem. The same way females are. If it's an issue where the situation went south and there was no real closure or no real correct proper ending for it, especially when there's kids involved, that emotion is now an issue where now you don't want this other female around your children because blah blah blah, or you're limiting how that person, that other parent is being in that kid's life because you're still in your feelings. So I think that's more of the problem is people either aren't really moving on, aren't allowing each other to properly move on and come back to be like co-parents. Because sometimes, after a crazy breakup, you got to kind of take a beat and then come back and then go back to that friendship that can breed a good co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
People kind of want to do it like we broke up. All right, let's be cordial. Like, if feelings are involved, you have to kind of take yourself out of it, bring it back, and then come back and be like, all right, let me get myself together so we can do this properly.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree with that. My thing was, what I notice is the kids will notice constant turnover. Like, whether you're going from relationship to relationship. And so say, and this goes for male or female, say they notice you always going through a constant relationship. You jump from relationship to relationship. But then you finally catch one. And they whoever that relationship you in, they got their kid, they bring it in. Now, if the children you already have, or the child you already have, sees that they look at your track record, right? They're not going to be as receptive to when you think you catch one. In their mind, it's just, oh, here they go again. Here he go again. Somebody else. Here she go again. Another dude. You feel me? Now I gotta fake it to make her feel good, but this ain't gonna last. I don't want to do it around, or I gotta fake it to make Pop feel good, but shorty, she ain't gonna last. She ain't gonna be here. That's another thing. So like, I agree with you. You gotta, like, your kids watch everything you do. You feel me? Forget what we say. You know what I mean? They watch what we do and how we handle situations. And if we're not handling them properly, like, they'll lose. Sometimes you'll lose I don't want to say respect, 'cause that's a harsh. Not they won't lose respect, but in certain situations, like, they're not really going to be receptive to your critiques or to your what's going on with you. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, man, we done seen this before. We already know how this going to end. You feel me? So that'll cause a problem. That'll cause okay, you know what I mean? When you really trying to make it work, if they see your track record, they might hold you up. They might hold the situation up. Your kids may hold the situation up.
Yeah, I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just about to agree and just say, I think not only the track record will hold it up as well, but when it comes to what they think they want out of it, there's certain things that kids, especially when they get older, they kind of have these expectations of how things are going to go. I definitely found it, of course, because a lot of times they don't really know what's going on and they really don't care. But, younger kids are usually a lot more receptive and a lot more, accepting of the the situations when these new things arise. But when kids get older, they're paying more attention. They definitely start to have their own opinions, their own perspectives on how they feel these things should go.
Mm-hmm.
And if mommy and daddy ain't together and they really want mommy and daddy to be together, then, somebody else getting in the mix they feel like is a threat to mommy and daddy getting back together. Or they may feel like, it's just me and this one parent. We gonna ride this out. We gonna take care of all these things. We don't need anybody new getting in the middle of what we got going on here. That kind of thing. You see that a lot. Especially with older teenagers, and situations where the teenager is very protective of either the parent or the home situation in general. I think that a lot of times they will try to block things, they will try to sabotage, but there's some good, there's some bad, right? Like I know a friend of mine, they had a step parent come along, or a situation where their parent was getting ready to marry somebody, and they were happy. They were older, but they were happy. They were like, you know what? They done seen they mom being, either depressed or being lonely or whatever the case may be, and they understood that aspect of it and felt like it was a good thing emotionally and psychologically for their parents. So they felt like it was a good move, and they liked the guy that had got involved with the mom, right? So they were like really receptive anyway, regardless of their age. They was really receptive, and tried to encourage their mother to move forward. So it's I think you have different situations. Depends on how either how mature or the perspective the kids have on the situation and relationship, as well as knowing that sometimes it can be a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know I had a situation where I dated a guy that had two kids older than my daughter at the time, and their mom was present to an extent in their life, and it was like like they used to give me the hostile, you trying to take my mom's spot kind of vibe. So, and I had a serious conversation with their mom, because she had an issue too. So one day she decided to pop, because she used to be popping up all the time, just being extra, because her emotions were still tied to the situation. So me and her had like a real conversation, and then I told her I'm gonna talk to her kids, because I wanted them to know. They were older. They were like 10 and 9 or something, like in that ball game, or 11 and 9, like that. So I had a conversation with them. I said, listen, I know your mom is your mom. I'm not trying to replace your mom. I'm just here dating your dad, and we got to the point where we ended up moving in together. So like now the dynamic has changed, where I'm used to coming over and hanging out with you guys, so now I'm actually living here. So I understand that it's a big change, but I'm not going to do anything. Like, I'm not trying to take your mom's spot. So not that I had to explain that to them, but I just felt like let's just have like a real adult conversation. Like sometimes I feel like some conversations with kids, you could just have it plain and simple and just be real honest. And they were old enough to the way that these kids are, they were like smart enough to grasp what I was saying to them. So I just like said it to them, like, listen, I'm not trying to replace your mom. I'm just here dating your dad, and I'm gonna treat y'all like y'all mine. And I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be like, to make sure you guys are good at all times. Like I'm here to like any other person, just being here to love y'all because I love your dad, and also because like I actually care about you guys. So sometimes it takes for that kind of conversation.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Honesty is always the best choice. Honesty is always
and
to everybody up front.
And being upfront and being inclusive, right? Being like not being afraid to get in front of them and say, hey, look, I understand where there can be some challenges here. I can understand there's going to be some feelings. Some people are going to feel it some type of way. and kind of get everything out in the open. Make sure that they understand that they can come and talk to y'all and deal with y'all on a mature level. Because it's all about respect and if even though they're kids, if they feel that their feelings are being respected, I think they can sometimes be receptive more. When you're respecting their feelings as well and their attitudes about the situation. Could definitely be helpful.
True. My situation as a child, it was similar to what the story you was telling earlier. Like, I remember, I didn't want my mom and dad to get back together, right?
Mm-hmm.
I seen, like I seen what that was. You feel me? Like I seen up close, like as a child with that. That was terrifying. Like, nah, y'all, feel me? Y'all apart. Y'all much more friendlier, nicer. You know what I mean? I'm not screaming at each other. Y'all not fighting each other. So like, yeah, I don't feel me. I don't need to be together. I remember them trying to when I got a little older. About 11, 12. My mom had already. They had been broke up. My mom actually had another child, my sister, Kenya. But around this time, they both were single. And I remember they would start talking again and hanging again. And I was like, nah. You feel me? I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because like I remember what it was. And then now I got me a little sister. You feel me? I don't even want her to experience what that was. You feel me? Like I don't want her to see that. So then, they both end up getting married. To other people. And just how that dynamic worked, that tells me right there that taught me a beautiful lesson. As long as everybody's respectful and the goal is the children, you know what I mean? Like my dad, my mom, and his wife, like they worked that situation beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
They worked that situation beautifully to where, my mom and my dad's wife, they were cool. Like you rarely get that. You feel me? Like they were cool. It wasn't no animosity. It wasn't nothing to this day. You feel me? Like I said before.
Which was my situation.
I mean, my little brother had on my dad's side. He had a wrestling match. You feel me? My mom going to his wrestling match. She want to go see him. That ain't her son.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But she know how much I love my little brothers, and for the fact, and I feel like I played a role in that too because I'm by far older than my siblings, so she see how much I had love for my siblings. Everybody seen that, so they was like, all right, let's make it work. You feel me? Like as long as the kids are the number one priority, the number one focus, you know what I mean? Like I always feel like it'll work out for the best because then even if you get emotional over something, even if somebody do something that'll irk you, right? You know what I mean? If you think about the kids, you'll pause for a second and ask yourself, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it for me to explode right now? Now, sometimes it may be, but if it ain't really worth it for me to just to really get upset, then you're not gonna get upset. You're just gonna move on, and everybody gonna go on about their business happy. You feel me? But as long as you think about the kids first, I always feel like, like it'll work out for the best. It'll work out for the best. Start playing games and you feel me, using the kids as pawns. And that's when issues happen. You feel me? Like that's when issues happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like stuff like that. Don't do that. Don't ever, you know what I mean? Like
don't begin.
We can be adults. You feel me?
Yeah.
We can be adults. You know what I mean? Cause
that was definitely. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead. I was just laughing.
No, yeah, I was about to say, that's always right there. That's always a challenge right there when it comes to, and that was kind of like on my second point about the between the baby mamas, baby daddies, spouses, ex-spouses, things like that. It's like you always have. It's either one way or the other, right? You either got somebody that, is wanting to battle with you, or you got, or you might, get lucky and have somebody who can be an ally and help co-parent and do the right thing when things come up, and then it's always a beautiful thing when it works out to the best. But when it don't, it's like it's always a battle. And like you said, when it's a battle, a lot of times the kids, they try to get the kids involved and trying to make the kids turn one against the other and all that kind of stuff. And that's always just, that's a sad situation, and people not realizing that it's you're more hurting the kids when you do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's more of a detriment not only to that family, to try to break that relationship down using the kids in it, but also how you end up either making the kids resent or be disrespectful to the other parent, or make the kid feel like being resentful to the whole situation, to the whole relationship between the two parents, between their two actual parents. I've seen so many people try to use their kids to get their way, and I've seen it go both ways, where a kid ends up thinking that one parent is right and the other's wrong, and then they either resent or end up hating the other parent, or the opposite. They realize that they're being used, and then they don't, they dislike the parent that's trying to use them, or they take a step back and realize, what's been going on, and then it makes them resentful of relationships in general. I know a buddy of mine, I think his parents, they were like 10 years married, or 15, it was longer than that, about 15 years married. So, they had built up a lot of angst between the two of them. And he was younger. He was like maybe 9 or 10 when they broke up. But it was like between the custody battling and all of the arguments and the fighting and the this and the that. I mean, he literally told me, at like 11 or 12 years old, he told me that he felt like he would never get married. He was like that. He was like, I would never want to be, in a marriage and have to end up like this, like my parents. And I thought that was like crazy, because for him to be so young and already feeling like marriage was a trap, marriage was just going to lead to divorce, marriage was going to be something that ended up making you hate people, hate somebody that you thought you loved, that kind of thing. It's, and that's a sad state to be in, to think like that. And for him to be that young, that means he's going to grow up with that hatred towards, not only marriage, but that kind of relationship. Who knows what type of stance he'll end up taking when he realizes what his parents were doing. I don't know which one was worse, but when he realizes, like, how is he going to feel about that? I know he loved his dad to death, so he always wanted to be with his father. So I know a lot of that was probably his dad, turning the tables on the mom and that kind of thing. But it was just, it's sad when you see that, because it definitely affects the kid, definitely is a detriment to the kid, and it definitely doesn't help. Anything. It doesn't help anything progress. It just causes more problems.
Yeah, but I think you missed a key part in this outline. I don't think you missed it, but it's like, I know I've dealt with this within my own. Like I said, I was raised with a stepfather who my mom had a kid with. In our household, it was a little bit. The dynamic was different. It was like it was all of us, and then their family. If that makes sense to you, like if I'm explaining that properly, it was like us.
Say that one more again.
Huh?
Repeat. Say that one more again. I'm sorry. I got lost.
I said it was basically us and then their family. It was us and their family. So it was my mom's kid.
Kind of like
he walked in with other kids prior to the one my mom had by him, and then it was my younger sister, who was his, and my mom's. So that's how we grew up. Where it was a very good statement of this is what this whole family is, but this is separate. And it was like even like down to the treatment of how it was. like birthday parties. So it was that, watching that happen, it was that animosity because we knew that there was a clear line drawn. And it was very clear that even though he met my mom with us, he dealt with us when he chose to. Because sometimes it was fun, but then sometimes it was very clear of the dynamic in the family. So I think you have to be careful when you blend families like that and how it happens, because then the kids prior always feel like they're like an afterthought to the kids that were within that relationship. And so that's what we grew up. That's what I grew up with.
Yeah, see that's. I remember I was working with this when I was younger. That was one of the reasons, because I used to think like that too, right? When I was younger, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I was like, I can't. The reason why I didn't want to date a woman with kids was because I always thought in my mind, if me and her was to have kids, like I just thought sometimes in my mind, like, I'm gonna treat my kid better than, you feel me? Because that's mine. I just thought that would naturally, you know what I mean? That was my thinking. Like that's just, it's just gonna be natural. I'm gonna naturally just love mine a little bit more, have a little bit more oomph, you know what I mean, for mine. But to be honest with you, if in reality, like, if you loving the person you with, if you truly in love, I think too many people are in relationships for wrong reasons, and that's why we get wrong perspectives from these type of relationships. Because a lot of people are in relationships because they need help, or a lot of people are in relationships because they just don't like to be alone. You know what I mean? They're in a relationship for the wrong reason, so they really not in it for real love. It's not genuine love. You know what I mean? Right. So if it's not genuine, if I don't genuinely love Sonny, there's no way I can genuinely love her kid. You know what I mean? So if I was to have a kid, yeah, I would love mine more, because I genuinely really don't love Sonny. Like, I got a motive. You know what I mean? And we just so happen to have a child. But if I genuinely love her, you feel me? There would be no different. You wouldn't be able to differentiate whose child is mine, because you would think they were all mine. Now, within the house, like I said, you know, I'm not going to try to be their father or, you know what I mean, be overbearing or try to parent them like they're mine, especially if their parents, their other fathers are in their lives or whatever. But that love will be there. So I'm not going to treat them no worse or than my own child. Like, that's foul. You know what I mean? That's not even decent. You feel me? That's not even decent, and I've seen it done.
True. That's that. You know, for me, you know, I've raised a lot of children that weren't mine, and you know, I didn't hold back though. If you my kid, you my kid. you gonna get this love, but you gonna get this discipline too. I'm a father you too, and I'm a father your friends, and I'm a father all your school friends and the neighborhood. Everybody's gonna get this fathering. So, you know, that's how I.
And I just wanted not to cut you off. When I say discipline, I just don't. I mean talk about putting hands on. That's always what it is.
Oh no, I put hands on them too. I will put hands. Everybody can get it. I tell a parent in a minute, like, look, you leave your kid over here. They mine for this weekend.
You know what, Willie? I feel like that. I feel like this.
I
feel like that too. I feel like this. You should know me well enough to know what I'm like. How, like, you know, it's limits to shit. Like how I do my niece and nephews. Like, they're not my kids, but my sisters know how I am with my own kids. So how I treat my own kids is how I'm going to treat your kids when they with me. I'm not going to be extra and go above and beyond and try to smack down your kid or nothing like that. But you should know your kid. Your kid's going to know when they come across this threshold, it's different over here. It's stuff that we're not about to have. And the same with my sisters. I know that when my kids go to their house, like my son be on 10 with me. And I have to get with him a lot of times. So I know if I'm going to somebody's house, somebody's going to say something to him, and I can't be that parent, like, don't say nothing to my child. Like, I know he's doing stuff. He ain't no angel. He ain't sitting there perfectly with his hands crisscrossed, applesauce, just sitting there not doing nothing. He's doing everything and everything. So he has to learn boundaries everywhere he goes. So I'm, like, to a certain extent, yeah, but we're not about to go above and beyond, because if you don't do it with your own child, don't do it with mine.
Right. True that.
That's how I feel. Like, if we together, you can pop my child, but don't do what you're not going to do to your own kid. We're not about to do that with mine.
Right. right. Yeah. I mean, when I first started raising kids, I was probably a little harder on my kids back then, and I learned a little more patience with time, especially because I learned how to deal with kids on a different kind of level, and realizing what strengths and what weaknesses certain kids had in certain things. I learned how to deal with one kid versus another versus everybody all the same plateau. Right? And I think that's another thing that people usually recognize when they're around me and my kids. They see that I treat my kids differently in the terms of how I handle their personalities or how I handle the type of discipline they need. Like my godson that stayed with me when he was in middle school through high school. He was when he was younger, he was like a terror. Like everything he could get into, he did. And I would have to pop him. I would have to put him in the corners. I would have to, do physical trials with him. I used to do all kinds of stuff to keep that kid in line when he was younger. And but I did that with my kids. So my thing was, I found the right level of discipline for him, and his mom was like, hey, whatever you gotta do. But she trusted me. She knew I would do him right. I would treat him right. And to this day, he always shows appreciation for the things I did. Besides just the letting them live with me for for like 6 years, but outside of that, but also just everything else, because he knows that I love him just as much as I love my children and my stepchildren, as well as my stepchildren know, besides my older daughter, she always thought I was always too hard on her. She always felt like I was too hard. I'm like, dude, you was bad as hell. But, love her too. But, it was always, the same thing. It was like, you know what, everybody has to get disciplined, and I learned that sometimes you can't give them the same discipline because some kids react different than others. Some will lash out or do things, so like even with her, it was like I knew I couldn't sit here and tell her to go, stand in a corner or hold up books or do a writing assignment or, get this belt or whatever. It was certain things I couldn't do, but there was other things that I could do and would get a better response out of, because if you do something one way, you might get a negative response. You do something a different way, and then it hurts a little bit more, or it makes them realize, oh, you know what, this person ain't playing, and I'm losing out, or I'm missing out on certain things. Like she would hate to, miss certain TV shows, and she would hate to be told certain things. So she was like, she had little programs she would do, and she would hate to miss those. So it was like I knew that would get to her. So it was like, okay, this is how I'm gonna do this. And then my son, he was into video games. Soon as the video game went off, he was just like heartbroken. So he would stay in line just so he could play his video game. So it was like I learned different ways of dealing with each kid to make the most impact. My second oldest daughter, I just had to look at her wrong, and she would get in line. So it was, it was like I didn't even have to say nothing, didn't have to do nothing. I just give her a look like, you know what, you know better, and she would just be like, you know what, I do, and she would just straighten up. I think it's that's one thing, especially when you're dealing with kids that you might be just coming into their life while they're preteens or even teenagers. I think my oldest daughter was like 9, the twins are 7, and then no, I'll take that back. They were 9. She was 11, and then my middle daughter was like 5. So it was just like, trying to come into kids' lives when they're already grown. You know what I mean? and trying to learn. You know, I mean, I kind of knew how they were before anyway, because before I was with their mom, I had pretty much lived next door to them for all their lives and that kind of thing. But it was a different relationship, right? You know, we're actually living together under the same roof. They gotta, you know, I'm not their friend. I'm the father figure now. I'm in their life, you know, and I have to, but then I also have to learn them as not just some kids in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, you know, it became a lot different type of relationship, a lot different type of situation, and you know, and I think sometimes people get afraid of that situation, even as the adults. You know, they be like, you know what, I don't want to make the kids feel a certain type of way, or I don't want to deal with them on this level because they daddy's still in their life. They daddy in their life, but you in their life now too. So you know, they gotta deal with that, and you know, and they gotta understand that, you know, there's still going to be rules in the household. You know, you don't get off scot-free because you got a daddy somewhere that lives somewhere else. It don't work like that. You know, same thing if it's the opposite way around. If you the mama and you welcome the kids into your house and you like, okay, you know what, I love you. This is all cool and dandy, but you know, there's still rules here. You guys still got chores, or you still got this, you got that, or you know, or just general love and respect for people. You know, it's like you don't have to love me because I love your mama, but you got to respect me because I am an adult and I'm in your life and I'm here to take care of you and I'm here to help you, you know, through this life. So I think that's
my caveat right there. That's the caveat. Like, always say, because even my situation as a child, like, you know, I to be honest, I don't owe you respect. You have to earn that respect from me. You know what I mean? That it go both ways. You feel me? Like, it go both ways. Like, I have. If my mom or my father raised me correct, I will automatically have that respect in me. But at the same time, just because you're with my parent, you feel me, you still have to, like you said, you going to, you know what I mean, you going to parent him, you going to be a daddy. Like, you're going to be like a father. So if you're going to do that, that's the way of earning the respect, because, you know what I mean,
right.
you like you said, you getting that daddy love too. So if I'm giving you this daddy love, even if you're not my biological child, you feel me, I feel as though I'm earning that respect, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be given. You know, I know a lot of situations, kids are asked to give this new person in their life this a certain level of respect that person ain't even earned. You know, because you know, because I put myself in that situation. I was dealing with my daughter's mother. You know, she already had 2 kids, and they were older. You feel me? And I remember me being them.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So going into that situation, I didn't want to go into that situation like, all right, you know what I mean, I'm with your mom, you know, we kind of living together, so like this, that, and the third, or, you know what I mean, I don't like how y'all, nah, I have to, you know what I mean, y'all welcoming me in to your lives. That's how I'm looking at it as well. Like, I'm coming into your lives just like y'all coming into mine. So now, you know what I mean, I want to be receptive and be able to adapt and compromise to what y'all got going on as well, you know, and I'm gonna kick it to you real. You feel me? Like you know, Sonny spoke on it before. Like, I'm gonna tell you like how it is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing for you. You feel me? Because I feel like when you sugarcoat stuff, especially with kids, you cheat them. You feel me? If you got to sugarcoat it, that means they ain't supposed to know at that point. You feel me? They can't handle the truth. If you know they can't handle the truth, then you got to just wait till they're able to handle it. You know what I mean? So that was how I handled the situation. So eventually, you know, like I would be able to talk. Me, you know, I had conversations, one-on-one conversations with those kids outside of their mom. You feel me? Issues they had with their mom. You feel me? That's the type of relationship we build. But see, you know, now when here's the issue, and I always break up now when that relationship fails, and you know, me and her had a child. So now it's like, okay, that bond isn't as strong with them kids no more. But you know, that's my daughter's sister. That's my daughter's brother. So it's always got to be a certain level of love and respect I have for them because they love my daughter, and my daughter loves them immensely. You know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta cover the order, not cover the order because we're not in a relationship, but like say if if something was to happen to them, my daughter gonna feel that a certain way. You know what I mean? And I would feel that too for her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would have to share that same love for them kids. And brother, I learned that even though, sometimes it could be hard, especially if you had an issue with the mom. Like, I really had to learn it. You feel me? I really had to learn this. I really had to step back because, I could be, when you go through situations, you could be like, well, man, F them. Them not my kids. You feel me? I don't care what you got going on with them. You feel me? I was like, you know what I mean? Because if I got beef with you, all I care about is mine. And I know I've gotten into that mode. Like I have to go, like not just a long time ago gotten out of it. You feel me? Like sometimes even you can revert back to it. You have that moment of weakness. You feel me? Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? So, but like that's real. That's real. And then I had to sit back and think, all right, well if I do that now, how my daughter gonna look at me now? I'm like F her brothers and sisters. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll put her in a predicament to where she got to choose between her siblings, the ones she loves immensely, and her father, who she loves. I mean, like, nah, that ain't cool.
Right.
You feel me? Like that ain't cool. So it's one situation when you end the relationship and y'all been a family, and then it's like a whole different situation when that relationship is over, but you still got that connection somehow, some way.
Right.
With those other kids. You understand? So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, when I divorced my ex-wife, it was like I was kind of wondering how that was gonna go. I mean, especially because my kids are older, a lot older now. My middle daughter is even about to be 21 this year, so it's like that whole aspect was definitely unknown variable, especially in my mind. I knew that like my middle daughter and my son, I kind of had an idea how they would take it, and how that relationship would go. At least from what I felt was the way the relationship had gone over the years. My like I said, me and my oldest daughter had a pretty volatile relationship, and it continued to be a little volatile at first, but then when we really had broken up and everything, it was kind of funny because then it was like a kind of a flip flop, and I don't know if it was because she felt bad for the situation or if she just felt like she won finally, like 23, 24 years old, she finally won, but. But like I said, but it actually kind of felt more like she kind of felt bad, or she just kind of like, it was like, dang, this is not what I intended or something. Because it was like, because she's also the mother of my oldest grandson, and it was just like she would reach out to me and be like, oh, maybe I can bring him by and this, that, and the other, or maybe you want to pick him up from school and then I can just come by afterwards, blah blah blah. And it was like, I thought that was nice, because she still, she knows that I had that relationship with him, especially when she had first started working, when after she had had him rather. And I took care of him for like a whole summer so she could work, and it was like, she just definitely, didn't try to strain that at all. She definitely didn't try to, she seemed to reach out more, you know what I mean? And that was that, I definitely appreciated that and was happy that it went that way, you know what I mean? Because I kind of feared that she would be like, you know what, you done with my mom, so I'm done with you, I'm good, now I don't have to deal with you, that kind of thing. That's kind of how I thought it was going to go, but, like I said, it was a total flip-flop, She ain't out here talking about how much she loved me or nothing, but my second oldest, my son and my middle daughter, they every day I see them, because when I go do stuff with my youngest kids, they usually around, they still tell me they love me, still, we still get along great, no issues there. They understand it was one of those situations with the relationship where it just didn't work out. It wasn't no animosity, at least they don't know about any animosity. We didn't explain any of that to them. And they, and we wasn't the type of, we weren't in a relationship where we fought or anything like that, so they didn't see us have, blowouts or nothing like that. So there was no sides to take. Nobody really even knew what was going on until it was done. So they just kind of like took it for what it was and, moved on. And so, that's been good. But you usually don't have that, right? You usually there's always, there's this one thing or another is going on. Mm-hmm. People are seeing it, it's coming out, that kind of thing. And, you always have, to see how the kids are going to react afterwards. But then you also have that relationship that you have to either continue to foster or do something with, and I always, commend people who can continue to try to foster that relationship with a kid, even though they're not with the parent anymore, and be it that it's just that love for the kid and wanting the kid to do, to continue to grow and do big things and that kind of thing, or just having that, that knowledge that the kid looks up to you or still feels that connection to you, that kind of thing, I think that's also, a factor sometimes for people, when they feel like, they still got to maintain that relationship. So, I think that's always a good thing when people can continue that.
Yeah,
what was else? Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying it's funny because my ex that I had lived with and I had talked to his kids like they were regular people. It's funny because I don't see them now, but when I used to see them all the time, it was really weird because you want to be like, hey, so-and-so, how you doing? Have that conversation. And it's at that awkward moment because you don't know what they're thinking about, how they feel about you. Because, like, now you're not dealing with their parent and it's been years since y'all dealt with each other. But, like, to see them in different phases of their lives, it was like, wow. Like, I had ran into his son and I was like, wow. And I, like, had, like, a brief conversation with him. But it was like one of them awkward conversations because, he was like, And then I saw his daughter, and I didn't even say anything to her. I just was looking like, wow. I remember when she was little, and she used to wake me up and ask me to make strawberry pancakes for her. So it's like that when you see that relationship, and now it's not that anymore. It's kind of like weird looking back because like them when they were kids.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how you approach it. It definitely depends on how you approach it. I mean, one of my exes, her daughter, I pretty much was in her life for like 2.5, 3 years, maybe a little longer actually. And then she was also friends with my kids, and so I continued to see her after that. So it was like having been in a relationship where she kind of looked at me because she was young. She was a lot younger when I was with her mom. So she kind of looked at me as like, one of the kind of like one of the parents in the house. She knew that I would take her to school. I would, help her make lunches, help her with her homework, stuff like that. So, when we had broken up and I had moved on, she continued to have this kind of good, I would say a good friendship to be like, hey, she would, when she would see me, it's like, hey, how you doing? Hug her. She'd be, tell me about her, whatever she's involved in, programs and stuff like that. And, having that kind of relationship, and then, even now, as an adult, I still, I talk to her on Facebook sometimes, and she's, she reached out to me the other day to see how I was doing, because I saw something on her page or something and laughed at it, and she was like, oh, hey, what's going on, so, sometimes you can continue, and then I don't, I mean, we don't have any awkwardness. We definitely, when I see her, it's always a great, great seeing her son, that kind of thing. And it's, it just depends on how you approach the relationship and what that relationship was like beforehand. You know what I mean? I think that probably makes a difference too, so.
One thing I wanted to point out that what was dope for me, that what was dope from the blended family joint was like, if and this goes to co-parent, I guess this coincides with co-parenting as well, but I like to change the pace because each family handles things different. Each family is like, like when you with your mom or how it is, mom's side, your dad's side, it's just different vibes. You feel me? And one thing I used to always enjoy where like I could be with my mom and it'd be a vibe and say, it's getting tense or whatever, me and my mom would have an issue. Then boom, you feel me? I can go to my pop, his wife, that was a different vibe as well. You know what I mean? And it was cool to be able to have that change of pace and still have that same love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And still receiving that same love. And I think if like I said, if everything worked perfectly, I think it works out better for the child, because one thing I realized with that is, like I said, my dad passed. His wife, she really had no allegiance to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you really look at it, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm far older than my little brother. I mean, my little brother Frank, I just got off the phone with him before we did the show. He's 18. He's 18. So I'm about to be 36.
That's old.
That's no, I mean, that's a huge, you feel me? Like,
I can't talk. I'll be 36 this month. No.
Yeah, I'm about to say, what I mean, you the grandma of the show, but
actually, Willie is grandpa of the show, but okay.
But like, she had no allegiance to me. You feel me? But she still loved me. You feel me? And she always kept me involved with my brothers and sisters. You feel me? She allowed me to be a authority figure. She to this very day. You feel me? Any issue, call me. Talk to your brothers. You know what I mean? That's family. That's love. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking between me and her. You know what I mean? If I call her, I could call her and drop her the dime. What? She coming just like my mom would. And I feel like everybody needs that type. Yeah, I feel like that if you're put in those situations, if those situations work out properly like that, it's so good for the child, because the child will be blessed with that love, even if something was to happen to you. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Like, that was one thing. Like, even in my situation, I think about that all the time. You know what I mean? If something happened to me, you feel me? Like, I want my daughter to still have that love, to get that love from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That genuine love from somewhere. You know what I mean? No, it's not going to be me. You know what I mean? That can't be replaced. But, you feel me? It could be a thorough substitute. Can be there. You know what I mean? A thorough substitute can be there. And I wouldn't want to deprive her of that. I think that'd be selfish on my part. You feel me? I think that'd be selfish on my part. That's why I would want any situation with, if her mom was getting it, I would want that to work out. You know what I mean? I would want that to work out. I would want dude to be dope. You feel me? As long as everything's good, as long as everything's copacetic, as long as he ain't doing nothing crazy with my daughter, you feel me? I don't have no issue with nobody.
Yeah, that's how I feel about my daughter's dad's wife. Like, it's an issue between us, not necessarily my issue, her issue, and I understand why her issue is what it is. But I don't feel any ill will towards her, because from when my daughter was around her since she was younger, she always treated my daughter like she was one of hers. So from a parenting, I don't have any issues with her. I know my daughter's dad makes it an issue between me and her. And I wish to God that me and her can actually have a conversation, or when I see her at some point, she doesn't have that angry or looking at, oh my God, there go that bitch when she see me. But that's not my issue. That's my daughter's dad created that issue. So he created an unwanted issue for no reason. And it's like, yo, if you just talk to me, you'll see that I could be an ally. Like, I'm not here to battle you. I don't have no issue with you. From as far as I know, my daughter has never had a bad experience with you. You never treated her wrong, so I don't have an issue with you. I know your issue with me, but it's not really with me. It's with him.
Right.
And whether he's creating that for us not to have a conversation, I don't know. But the fact that I see you as much as I see you, and you never, like, I can't even get a high from you, like nothing, like, but my daughter's around you. It's crazy to me, cause I genuinely don't have an issue with you. And I said this to her. I didn't say this verbally to her, but it was a message she sent to me, and I spoke back to her. I said, I don't have an issue with you. I've never had an issue with you. I have an issue with him. So I don't know what the dynamic is. Now I'm more understanding of what the issue is. Now I get it, but you really don't have an issue with me. You have an issue with him. But it's creating that block between me and you, and we could actually be cordial and, have that relationship where I can, hey, Zaria's about to graduate. Like, this is her senior year. You've been in her life for, like, as long as her dad been in her life. So you are, like, you care for her when she's in your care, like she's your own. So I would think that when things are going on with her, you would want to know. It's like watching your kid do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I would want for my daughter's sister to come to my house and spend time with her versus her always going over there. But I know that will never happen.
Right.
And it's sad, but
Yeah, I mean, some people do have to realize that they can have. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
What happened? I didn't hear that.
I said, like you said, it really, like, the issue goes back to him because he can control that. That's something he can control.
He created the issue.
That's what I'm saying. He created it so he can control it. You feel me? All he has to do is sit her down and be like, you know what I mean? I created a situation that really was. All he has to do is explain that I created the circumstances that has you feeling the way you feel towards my child's mother. And to be honest with you, have no reason to feel that way. I made you feel that way. If you break it down to her like that, you know what I mean?
He's not going to do that.
She might have
he's not going to do that because his feelings are still involved. So that's why I say, like, I would love to have a conversation with her myself.
But that goes back to the point. If he creating the circumstances, then, you know what I mean, you're not going to have that conversation. Or even if you had a conversation, she may not be receptive. Now, she may be. You feel me? You never know until you actually have that conversation. But, if she, if everybody just adults about the situation, she'll, you know what I mean? Even if you have a beef, like that, and that's the point I'm getting at. Like, even if you have a beef, as long as nobody's doing anything, but you, like you said, you have no reason to feel like your daughter ever had a bad experience with her. So there's really no issue.
Yeah.
You feel me? She really should have no issue with you. Yeah, like, it really should be no issue. You know what I mean? It really should be no. If nothing happens, like, it really should never be no issue. If nothing didn't happen to the kid, like, what are we arguing about?
Right.
You feel me?
Right. I mean,
you know what I mean? Now,
I was going to say, I think.
I was just going to say, like, say me, I'm dealing with Willie X and kids involved. You feel me? And a situation arrived that happened with the child. Say the child get in trouble in school, right? Now, I feel if I'm the other dude, if I'm the new guy, my first thing is going to be, all right, well, that's between, the mother and the father. I'm gonna let them work that out. But if it's not directing my daily household operation, if she just got in trouble or she or he just got in trouble in school, they should be able to handle that. Let them handle that. That's for that co-parents, and let them handle that. You feel me? Now, an issue, only way an issue could arrive at that I'm involved if I overstep my boundaries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now I just want to be involved in the situation just because I want to be involved in the situation, when really that situation don't have nothing to do with me. It didn't affect the operation of my household. You feel me? That was an internal problem between them that they could handle. You feel me? Now, if it starts spiraling out of hand, that's when I can say something. But if it's not really spiraling out of hand, and I don't really, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let them handle that. But when you start overstepping your boundaries into when you're just trying to put yourself in a situation that you don't need to be in, that's the only other reason an issue could arise outside of doing something to the child. You feel me?
Yeah.
Other than that, it really should be no issues. That's just how I look at it.
No, that's honest.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. No, I was just in agreement, and also saying that kind of back to what you said earlier, Sonny, in terms of realizing that you can have an ally. I mean, I think it's a great thing when all the parents can be involved, making things easier, not only on the kids but even each other. You know what I mean? Because when you got somebody that you can relate to and depend on, that's got your kids' best interests in their mind and heart, and vice versa, then everybody can work together and make things work better. I mean, it just goes a long way. You know what I mean? In terms of keeping your kids happy, keeping them healthy, keeping them mentally, mentally straight. Because kids got enough to deal with out here with social media and bullies and all the other kind of crazy crap going on, to not have to have crazy stuff at home going on too. Having a loving family environment, even though the parents didn't work out, but seeing new parents being involved, seeing your parents, helping your step parents do things and get things done, or at least just being there for each other. Like, hey, if you could pick up the kids today, I can pick up the kids tomorrow, or if you can help little Ricky with his homework, I can take Julie to her singing lessons, or whatever it takes to make everybody be able to work together. And
Willie, can we do an exercise real quick? We're about to freestyle. Yeah. I just want to freestyle something with you. I'm gonna say, all right. I was in a relationship. It just got over. You in a relationship with my ex now, and the child's still a newborn. Well, not a newborn, but still young. About 1.5, 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Toddler, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So, I call you. And, all right. Now the exercise. This is the exercise. You and her are on the phone, and this is me. You know what I mean? I say, all right. Now I mean, Sonny, I want you to participate in this too, because you the girl, you the ex.
Okay.
All right, so I just want to say, all right, now listen, I don't have no issue with your relationship. You know what I mean? That's not my business. Now hope y'all work out. You feel me? My only thing is, when it comes to my daughter, she's still a toddler. You feel me? She really can't speak up. So me personally, I'm not comfortable with all the touching, and definitely not the hands putting on. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
We having this conversation. It's a real conversation now.
All right. I would definitely be respectful of your wishes, and definitely understand, and then just let you know that if I felt like there's a situation that comes up, and I feel like me as a toddler, there's only so much discipline that you need to do with a toddler anyway. It's not really like that kind of thing. And I feel exactly. Like if it's a situation where maybe she wrote on the wall, or she throwing food everywhere, I would have to just have a conversation with her that don't do that, here, let me help you clean this up because you're gonna have to clean this up.
Mm-hmm.
If she did something that was just just random and wrong, explain to her why it was wrong, and then let you know, like, hey, your daughter had an episode today, and this is how I handled it, and this is what, and this is how, I do things over here, if she write on the wall, she got to clean this wall, I'm gonna give her a little washcloth, put some water on, and show her how to scrub that wall down, and so just a heads up, that's how things work over here, but definitely, if you feel like there's a certain way you want it handled, then just let me know, and I'll see if I can do that too, but that's how I handle things over here, and I think that's the best way to handle it.
Yeah,
be honest, be open.
Yeah, and as a female, you gotta, like, if that person, and like goes back to what you said, if you're participating in that child's life, you're not an absentee father. Yes, you have we have to discuss things, and I just can't go off of what I want. It has to be discussions had and agreed upon things. And if you, like, I wouldn't in my mind, I wouldn't want nobody that I'm even dealing with putting their hands on my little girl. Like, you don't, like, it's limits and boundaries, of certain things that can't happen. Especially you're not her dad, so you're not about to do that. So you will have to respect that, because that's somebody that's not no pop-in dad or no absentee dad that's just not there. If you're a consistent father and you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have every say in your child's life.
Right. All right. Now, see, though, I have no issue with nothing neither one of y'all said. All right. Now, we're going to reverse the exercise, Willie. Now, I'm going to give you the response I got. Now, you tell me whatever request that you would have, like your person, not what I just said, mine, so what yours. Now, I mean, if you was to have a conversation with me about this, and knowing your child won't be around me.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's say if it's my son and he's not a toddler, he 12 years old, right? And sometimes he don't listen. Sometimes he like to zone out on his little video games, and if he acting up, definitely do what you feel like is necessary in your home to get the response that you need. I don't like to cuss around my kids, so I appreciate if you don't cuss around them and don't cuss them out, using harsh words. Just respect his feelings, but show him that you do demand respect in your home, because I demand respect in my home. So if you can do that for me when he's at your home, I would appreciate that. Make sure he understands what a real man is, and if you can impress that upon him, I appreciate that when he's in your presence. And that would be helpful, when he's not around me.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my honest response to that.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that. I would definitely honor that. I'm not here. First of all, I want to let you know I'm not here to even try to take your spot. I'm here, if anything, just to be an extra, role model for him. And if it's any issues, if me and him have any issues, my first thing is I'm gonna take it up to with his mother, because that's my who I'm in a relationship. That's her son. I'm gonna take it to her first, and let her handle that as she sees fit. And if it's starting to get out of hand, and she has to involve you, and we all have to have a sit down, then that's what we'll have to do. But I feel as though if I go to her, she could nip it in the bud. She could relate. She could talk to you, tell you to talk to him, and you know what I mean. We can handle it that way. You feel me? And as far as cursing in front of me, cursing him out, you know what I mean? Like, nah, I ain't going through that. I can respect that. You feel me? Like I said, me and him having an issue or problem. You feel me? I'm gonna go straight. Listen, talk to his mom. Listen, talk to your son. You feel me? If he got that much animosity towards me for whatever reason, then maybe we would have to have a sit down and work that out. You know, because I'm not trying to be his enemy, especially if I'm in love with his mom. And that's that.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm gonna tell you the answer I got for all that. Now you say you all well, that's unreasonable. You're being unreasonable.
Oh wow.
How?
No, but that's exactly.
Right.
When I was in that, exactly. So imagine if you said all that, and instead of me giving you my honest answer, that I responded to all that. Well, bro, you being a little unreasonable.
Unreasonable about what, man? That's a like I'm coming with I mean out of love and respect for you, like because I could have did it a little different.
You understand?
I got an issue definitely with how you talk to how men talk to grown little boys. Like I don't ever want to, like as a parent, I would never call my son a little nigga, or or like I forget the other term that they use. Like I would never. Like that's just I want nobody ever calling my son, oh that little nigga right there. Like no, I don't care who we are. Like you're not about to call my son that. Like I'm not about to call him that. You're not about to call him that. Like it's just certain, like he's a little boy. Call him, I don't know, like his nickname. Call him Zay. Call him names that I call him, or little fella or something. Don't ever address my son as little nigga or little.
Like that's actually now that you bring that up, yeah, I would definitely prefer somebody. If you're gonna call him anything, you're gonna call him young man. You're gonna make my son. Don't.
But you know how people talk though.
Yeah,
like, you know how people talk though. Like
right.
I'm a big person. Like I got a potty mouth. I get that, but I'm never like you know how people post on social media like me and my little nigga. Like no,
right,
that's your son.
Yeah. It was and you gotta be that way too with anything, because like I went to a friend's party with my kids, and she had a bunch of little kids or whatever. And they were playing music or whatever. So, we was in the hood. So, you expect hood things to happen. So they started playing certain music. And my kids know how I am. My kids, when they 14 and under, they don't listen to no explicit music at all. Like, you don't listen to nothing explicit around me. I don't play it. I don't like my 12 and 14-year-old right now listen to Kids Bop and regular radio stations. They already know. So, this was like a couple years ago, and we was at this party, and they started playing some song, and my daughter, 12 years old, came up to me and was like, I think we need to go. She was like, they playing music I'm not supposed to listen to, and so my thing was, I'm like, we at this party, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your party. I was like, but not only my kids, but you got a bunch of other little babies running around here. They not babies, but you know what I mean. They were like, 10, 9, 8. Like that's just a bad look. You got these little kids running around here. You don't want to play that kind of music around them. Talking about sex, talking about gangbanging, or whatever else was going on in the music. It's like, I'm like, you don't have to listen to what I'm requesting, but if you could do that, I think it would be better for the party. And they respected that.
I like that
and it actually turned out it was like, it was just a misunderstanding. Whoever was running the music just kind of left the music just going and didn't pay attention to what was playing. So they just made sure they put the right playlist on, and we was good for the rest of the party. So I think sometimes you got to be like that with anything and anybody. When you demand a certain level of respect for your children and the way in the atmosphere that they're going to be in, you definitely have to do that when it comes to a person that's going to be in their lives. In that regard, you know what I mean? Regardless if it's gonna last or not. If you're gonna be in my kid's life and be around my kid, I need a certain level of respect for me as their parent and the things that I want for them, the atmosphere I want them to be in and grow up in. I don't want them to be around no craziness. I don't want them to be around no this, no that. And if you can't provide that, that's fine. I'm not trying to change your household. They know they can go. They know where I got a spot for them. So that's not a problem. So I think, that's the one thing is you do have to, be upfront about that kind of thing, because you also don't want to be wishy-washy about it either, because at the back end, things can be taken astray or, taken sideways because, let's say you didn't present that to them, and then you come in on the back end of something happening and you got an attitude. Then they're going to be looking at you like, you crazy. Why you got an attitude? You didn't say nothing about this before. You be like, well, I was thinking it. It's like, don't tell me what you was thinking. You should have said something, You didn't want this to go down. You should have said, hey, I don't want this to go down, Like I was over my sister's house, and, my niece, she ran over to me. She jumped in my arms to give me a hug or whatever. And because she always see her cousins do it, right? So her dad was like, hey, you get down off that man. That's a grown man. You don't get up on him like that, And, at first I was like, oh, it's cool. And I was like, you know what? My bad, dog. I understand where you're coming from. I feel you, And every time I would see after the end, we just dap it up. I give her a side hug or whatever it would take. It's like I got to respect what he wants for his kid. That's not my kid, And even if it was, I would still have to respect what he wants in the atmosphere he wants her to be in. I don't know what his life was like and what he's seen in life, but he wants certain things for his daughter, and I got to respect that. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of times if you don't speak up, then, you only get what you didn't ask for.
This is why I'm raising assholes.
Or you don't get
they don't like people. Like, I call my kids assholes, but I'll say it to their face. But, like, this is why I'm raising them the way that they are, because, like, my son, if he don't rock with you, he don't rock with you. My daughter was the same way. Like, how people are like, oh, look at the kid. Like, no. Like, there's certain things that they're just not about to do, and they're like anti people for a little bit. Like, if they like you, they like you, but if they don't, or they don't know you, they're not about to give you the time of day. And I like that because I don't want them to be too friendly with people. Like, you don't know these people, you don't know their intentions. You got to be like, I don't want to raise them scary, but I always want them to be mindful. You never know somebody's intentions. Like I know Clint said something a while back that I'm a big person of. My daughter can't sit on no grown man lap. My son can't do it either. Like, if he likes people, and sometimes he just get that, oh, I want to be hugged up with this person. You don't even fucking know them. Get off. Like, as much as he want to be on them, I'm like, no, come on, because you don't know them. Like, you can't just go sitting on people laps that you don't know. I know that they give you a good vibe, but not you can't sit on their lap. You just met them, like,
Like situation real quick, because the show about to end. I was teaching my daughter ride a bike the other day, and in the park, and some dude there, he was like, man, that's dope. And then, she had me run up, and he was trying to help. He tried to help and show her stuff. At first it was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? But then it was like, come on, bro. Well, I mean, like, I felt, and like I said, he could have been real genuine, but sometimes,
right.
Nah. Yeah, like sometimes, like, nah, just fall back. You know what I mean? Something ain't right, And like you said, I try to tell my daughter, don't be too friendly. You know what I mean? Don't, be a little, you know what I mean? Like, be a little standoffish. Ain't nothing wrong with being standoffish. Nothing wrong with being standoffish.
And somebody did that in motor vehicle. Some man was trying to talk to my daughter, and he realized that she was a kid after I said something to her. And then my son ran off, and he went to go get him to bring him to me. And I looked at him. I said, get the hell off my son. He looked at me like, no, it's not that serious. Get your fucking hands off my son. And they was like, la la la, and I'm like, no, come on, Zay. And they came to me, cause like, no, dude, like, you fucking smell like a pedophile. I don't need nothing. Like, get the fuck away from both of them. Like, just you can't trust everybody. People got different motives, and you got to be very mindful with the kids. But yeah, we about to wrap this show, guys. Thank y'all for listening to tonight. Guys, don't give us your info real quick.
Well, I ain't on social media really right now, but y'all can hit me up on my.
You got any info left?
Y'all can hit me up on my blog. Yeah, kingstruth.com. You feel me? Hit me up there. I'll be posting more poetry and stuff on there. So hit me up there. That's about it.
Oh, yeah, it's your boy Willie Styles. I'm still at Willie Styles everywhere. STYLEZ. Get at me, williestyles.info, stylesradio.com.
And, of course, it's your girl, Sunny. I am Sunny, Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. My blog is unreservedlyme.com. I know I've been depressing people, but I gotta live my truth. So follow me there, and follow me. Let's catch us at on our website, gstradioshow.com, and you'll catch all our links there. Instagram, Twitter at GST_radio, SoundCloud, Google Play Music. What else? YouTube. Yeah,
That's
iTunes and all that.
iTunes, yeah.
Yeah, iTunes,
right.
Google Play Music, all the spots.
Get a Teespring. Get that Teespring.
Oh, yeah, teespring.com/stores/GST Radio. Thank y'all for listening tonight.
Cop that merch. See you on 7 days.
Bye.